Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. My name is Ty Richardson, and we need to have a serious discussion as to why this game was never brought to my attention. This is Meow Motors. It is an adorable racing game where you get to play as cats in some nice, sleek-looking carts, and not a single goddamn soul told me about this game existence. Why is that? This game, it's been on my mind quite a bit. I haven't gotten to play it because I've been super busy, at least not sit down and like go through an extensive session with this, but I love it. I love just about everything there is about this game. I love the animation, I love the character designs, I love the kart designs, the tracks, I love just about everything. Everything about it. There is one problem I do have with it, but we'll get to that in a second. This is one of the most unique kart racers I've played in quite a while. I've played All-Stars Fruit Racing, that one was a pretty solid kart racer. I've played Bears Can't Drift, that one was also really good. This one, though, I love how it's doing things different. Like, it's clearly not trying to be Mario Kart in any single way, and I don't mean that facetiously either. The difference between... Let me put it this way. When you look at the kart racing genre as a whole, everything looks like Mario Kart. Everything looks like it's trying to be like Mario Kart. However, when you really start to sit down and play these games, you do notice that a lot of them are trying and succeed in making themselves different. So Meow Motors, for example, it has more of a focus on not just boosting, but there's more meter management and weapon usage. The way I wanna liken this game is similar to modern fighting games. You know, you have your meters and you can use those for either offense or defense. For this game, it's the same thing. In that lower right hand corner, that yellow meter that just went down, you can use that to either boost yourself ahead, your defense, or you can lay an oil spill behind you, your offense. And then that lightning, that little circle below that of lightning, that is your charge attack. So when you pick up a power up and you hold down the X button, you can charge it for a secondary attack that could possibly do more damage. It all depends on what you pick up. So like I typically save that for the shockwave, just because it kind of guards me from the rear, and it really widens the gap, or at least it tries to. But the thing with Meow Motors is that it is incredibly hectic because of the focus on combat and pickups and all that. Now, the other thing I want to talk about real quick, and this is why I held off so that we can look at this footage together. Drifting. Drifting is very off. It is not like Mario Kart drifting. It's not like Crash Team Racing drifting. The drifting mechanics aren't like any other kart racer that I've played. It feels very off at first. What you have to do is you have to tap the handbrake as you are turning, and you go into drift mode. However, it's tricky to pull off because you don't exactly get to stay in drift mode. You have to keep adjusting your kart in order to stay in there. So when it comes to the drift challenges, the longer your drift, the more points you earn, but that's incredibly hard to pull off when you're at risk of getting out of drift mode unintentionally. So you can't just hold the analog stick in one direction, and you can't just leave it alone. Like you can't leave the analog stick all the way to the right or left, and you can't just push it once and then keep lightly pushing it to the side. You have to like find a way to maintain that balance, and that's where drifting gets to be pretty challenging. A lot of people in the community who have played this, they've said the same thing. The drifting feels a little finicky at times, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes manageable. Like I've just recently figured out how to use the drifting effectively. And doing that, you have to make sure you have enough meter so that you can boost your way through wide curves or wide turns. And that's how you can get more points and make the most out of your boosts. And it could also potentially transition you into the next turn and continue your combo, your multiplier. Now what we're seeing right here, this is another challenge that the game tasks you with. This is the elimination challenge, or target practice. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but basically it's fighting game as a racing game. You just want to deplete your opponent's health and get the most points that you can. It's pretty basic. I love it because it just emphasizes how Meow Motors makes itself unique, in that there's a huge focus on power-ups and offense or defense. That's another thing I noticed about this game too, is there is never a time, and if so, very rarely, do you ever have a wide gap like you can get in Mario Kart. Like, when I played Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing, I got so good at the game to the point of I knew how to outlap, like, the last three people. And at some point the challenge has to increase. With this, Meow Motors never lets up. Like, the game gets significantly harder as you progress, and on top of that, your opponents are always on your ass. Because of this game's emphasis on combat, you have to constantly worry about, well, when should I use this item? Should I use my meter to boost ahead and try to maintain my lead? Or should I put down an oil spill and risk not being able to speed on ahead? Because that meter burns quickly. It burns really quick. But yeah, and here you can choose which cat you want to play as. Of course, they're the trickiest to unlock because you have to earn quite a number of stars in each world. Each world has a power-up, a vehicle, and a character that you can unlock. In order to unlock a character, you need to get like the majority of the stars. There's probably one, maybe two challenges where you don't have to get all 3 stars, but everything else you have to. Carts are pretty easy to unlock. As far as I'm aware, they don't have different stats, so you could just pick whatever cart speaks to you, and not have to worry about low acceleration or bad handling or top speed or anything like that. That's one of the cool things about this game, is that it doesn't rely on stats for skill. It all depends on how you use it. It's really a kart racer that's unlike any other, and I don't mean that in a hyperbolic way. I just mean that it toys around with the kart racing formula that we've come to know from Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing, and it manages to put an emphasis on something that Mario Kart and CTR already does, but not to the same level that this game does. And again, it shocks me that nobody has talked about this game, because it is exceptionally well done. There's a bit of a learning curve, but once you figure it out, holy crap, it is such a satisfying game to play. So I highly recommend people pick this up. Like, if you're a fan of kart racers or cats in general, like, please give this game a shot. I love it. I can't wait to go back to it. I want to. I wish I could in the next day or so, but at the moment I'm dealing with a terrible game for work. But I can't wait. I'm gonna use this game to try and rejuvenate what I've been through. So follow me on Twitter if you want to know what I'm talking about, because I will be sharing the review there. But for this game, in the meantime, please go and check this game out. It's $14.99. It's on PlayStation 4 and PC. I'm not sure about Xbox One and the other platforms, but please do yourself a favor and go get this game. It's wonderful, it's charming, it's challenging. It's an absolute blast.